We are joined in the media center here at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway following the NHRA Mission Foods Vegas 4-Wide Nationals. Our funny car winner in the Mission Foods funny car category, Bob Tasca. Bob with an amazing triple hole shot win in the final round. Each of the big four in the funny car eliminator represented. Matt Hagan, the champ, Ron Capps, Austin Prock driving the car that Robert Height typically drives. And Bob Tasca wins it on a triple hole shot from the number one qualifying position. Bob, just talk a little bit about being involved in such an amazing and epic final round here at the Strip.
We kind of felt it building up. Like, you know, second quad, you see, I'm in the last quad, I see Hagan and Capps win. And then we're going in, and I know Prock, you know, his hot rod's running good. And, you know, I actually said to the guys, listen, we don't need to outrun Prock. Like, all weekend long, I think we had a conservative approach to this whole weekend. And I remember being in the trailer with Aaron and Todd saying, listen, we don't need to outrun Prock right now. Let's just go do what we do. It was a little slow in quad one. I said, let's just leave it alone. And we'll probably win, get to the final round, and then all bets are off. Do whatever you guys want to do. And that's exactly what we did. We lost by an eyelash to Proc in that second quad, but it was strategy. That was kind of by design. You come up to the last race, and I'm in the car, and I'm thinking what you just said. I'm thinking in my head, okay, I'm in lane one. I got Proc down the aisle. I want to know where everyone is. I tell my guys, listen, just tell me where everybody is. Mentally, I just want to know where they are when the trees come on. And I'm like, okay, now this is epic. You got to get up for it. The team's got to get up for it. Crew's got to do their job. And for me, you know, you get to look up in those stands and see all those fans looking down. And, you know, I don't know, it's like you get a little bit of the goosebumps. It's like a big moment. And you have to rise to the occasion. And, you know, I knew I had a great light. I knew, you know, as a driver, you know when you hit it, you know when you miss it a little bit, but you never know if it's enough. And then it's a beautiful thing when you see that flashing bulb on the wall, and then to see the time slip and to see how close, you know, all the runs were, that could go down as one of the greatest drag races, funny car for sure, of all time.
16th win of your career, second 4-wide, but first of the season. Let's open it up to questions from members of the media, starting out with Phil Burgess from NHRA National Dragster.
Joe referenced it earlier. We had one from every car manufacturer. You being a hardcore Ford guy, what does that mean for you to take out the other three?
It's the only reason why we're here. At the end of the day, we compete to win. I owe everything to the Ford Motor Company. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. You know, growing up as a kid, I've always said I'm an all-Ford kid, an all-Ford race car, and it's the ultimate honor, privilege to be able to represent Ford nationally, globally, with their fans, their dealers, all the employees that believe in us. And we got Brian Novak here from Ford. After how we stunk up the place in Pomona and Phoenix, I said, Brian, you came to Vegas? He goes, hell yeah, I came to Vegas. So, no, hey, listen, I couldn't say enough. The aerodynamic, the engineering support Ford gives us, and then we have to go show what we can do on the racetrack. But to be the last, you know, man standing with the trophy against Toyota and Ford and Dodge and all the, you know, all of them out there, it's why we do it.
Tom Zaleski, Iron County Today. Hi. Before the final run, what was the thought process? What was the mood? How were you setting everything up?
Yeah, well, the thought process was time to go for it. Like we made some bold moves. I was in a couple. I'm sure everyone was in a couple out there. But it was the step up. We needed now to see what this thing would run. Didn't run the speed we wanted. I mean, we'll have to go back and look. Todd and Aaron probably wouldn't be happy with the run because it should have run better, but it felt better. It ran better early. It ran what we wanted to run early. Didn't run out the back door like it was running the last couple of rounds, but it was good enough. And I think what we always try to chase is what we call the package. It's what can the team, crew chief, and driver together do on the racetrack. And the package, when you look at the package that we bring race in and race out, it's a pretty competitive package. I mean, we got a good car, we got a great team, we got a driver that can, you know, get a lot of experience in the car. So when you add that all up, you give yourself a chance. But I will say this, coming back in that truck with Doug Coletta and Jed Coughlin Jr., I mean, these are guys who won a lot of races. This is tough to do. Like, it's really, really hard to win an NHRA race when you're racing one person in the finals. When you're racing three people in the finals. Do you know how hard that is to win that race? It is by far, it's probably a little bit easier to get to the finals because you only have to, win. Exactly. Well, and you only have to beat two people. Like, you can kind of play the odds a little bit. But in the final round, a 4-wide victory, which I only have one other one from here. I think I run it up in Charlotte a few years ago. It's by far the hardest race to win.
All right, Crystal Clay Racing Refresh, you kind of already answered it a little bit, but I know you were talking about the consistency and the joke, or basically saying having your team run, slower speeds and putting a limit on them. I know you didn't expect to have the slowest car, but what does that kind of feel like knowing that ended up happening and not the speed that you wanted?
Yeah, hey, listen, it all worked out. The car ran a little bit better than what it showed. I was in a couple. But it didn't run what I know these guys probably would have wanted more from it. But I can tell you this, at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, you'll know exactly where our head's at because we'll be right here making runs. And we'll be testing all day tomorrow. So this team is built to win a championship. We're committed to win a championship. And we're going to do everything we can to do that. No one can guarantee it, but we're going to leave it all on the field this year. And, you leave with the Wally and back at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning trying to figure out how to go a little faster now. I'm going to have to coach him up a little bit next race.
And are you going to have to put any more limits on them?
No more limit. I've removed the restrictions. They've proved to me that they can go down a hot track consistently. Now it's up to them.
Alex Wright, Review Journal. Bob, heard you say, this could be one of the more memorable funny car finishes. Does it make this one a little bit more special? Could it give you a little more kick in your step as you go through and try to compete for the championship?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let me make no doubt about it. There isn't one loser up there that's happy right now. I mean, that was a big round. That was a big round in front of the world, and it was a perfect racetrack, no excuses, and you got to go now get the trophy. And it's the driver and it's the crew and the package. We came out on top this race, but it definitely gives you a lot of confidence. They know that the 4 cars up there are all contending for a championship.
Bob, we had Austin in here yesterday, and I asked him, you and him were kind of trading blows. He'd go up and run something, and you went lower, and then you ran something yesterday, and he went a little bit lower, and then you guys are matched up kind of twice today and then into the finals. Not only Austin, but this whole group, when you guys are kind of trading blows like that all weekend leading into this, I mean, are you able to kind of enjoy those moments where you guys are just kind of slugging it out like all weekend with each other?
Yeah, I mean, we've been slugging it out since Gainesville, he and I, as far as low ET, top speed, back and forth. Absolutely. I mean, it's a rivalry that is built on the ultimate respect. And I can't really emphasize that enough. When you look at John Force and the respect I have for him, and then Jimmy Prock and the respect that they have amongst Todd and Aaron is really unmeasurable. And, Prock's the dude guy, but, he's been driving race cars and nitro drive fun. I mean, he can drive, period, end of the story. So, it's fun. It's fun out there. It's why we do it. And we'll make each other better. There's no question about it. As you trade blows like that, you both get better.
Cameron Tasca. So, Bob, there's a rumor that you do better when your kids are here. Do you still believe in that rumor?
I can't dispute it at this point. You weren't in Phoenix and you weren't in Pomona, so as this season has unfolded, I have to agree.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it, Bob. You got to bring kids to all the races. Okay. Just saying. Just a quick final question. We had Tony Stewart in the final round, Top Fuel, an excellent Top Fuel final as well. We feel like we are several years into tremendous momentum and competition for this sport. You've been around a long time. Just state of the sport as you see it, as we are still at the beginning of our season. We're going to ZMAX, going to Charlotte, home of NASCAR. How do you see things going? You mentioned the crowd in the grandstands and
I think that's the judge. I mean, you look at two things. You look at our TV, like 1.3 million coming out of Phoenix. You look at multiple sellout days in Phoenix, Gainesville, here, Pomona, great crowd. I mean, it's just, you can see the energy in the sport. You can see the fan energy. I felt it in Bradenton leading into Gainesville. And that's what it's all about. And when you come down after a race like that, and I had multiple fans come up to me, tell me, this is why we came, is to see a race like that. And when the product is that good on the racetrack, it just fosters growth and excitement across the whole platform. So no, I'm thrilled about the state of the sport. Excited about it. You heard Ford announce a multi-year extension with our team. I mean, that speaks volumes that they're committed to drag racing, because I couldn't do it without them. End of the story. I mean, BG, PPG, all our key sponsors. When you see sponsors renewing and the fans come in, you got to be excited about the state of the sport. So I think we're only 3 races in. What are we? 1, 2, 3, 4 races in. 4 races in to a 20-race season. So hang on to all those fans out there. We got a whole lot more action to show you.
Can you sweep the 4-wide season by winning Charlotte?
We're going to try. I can tell you that much. We're going to try. There's no one going to try harder than us. It'd be nice to do that.
Thank you, Bob. Congratulations
Thank you.
on your win.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Awesome. Way to go, Bob.